I am all in when it comes to XCN as of right now in terms of my conviction. It doesn't mean that I only just hold XCN, but in terms of my belief, it's the greatest it's ever been. And I have no doubts about XCN, even though I'm not saying I can tell the future, even though this is not financial advice, and even though I'm not telling anyone to buy XCN. But personally, for me, now a dollar doesn't seem that unreasonable to me during this bull run. Now, the reason why is because not too long ago, we saw XCN have a really massive rally. Of course, there was a pullback, but now we're seeing a pretty decent recovery. But I think what that indicates is that when the market is doing good, XCN tends to kind of tag along. And as of right now, seeing XCN have a recovery, it showcases that, you know what? When the market is doing pretty good, this gains attention. But when the market is also somewhat recovering, this has been known to gain attention as well. Unlike other projects out there, they're lagging behind. They haven't really done anything. And also other projects out there, let alone when Bitcoin was around $100,000 and the altcoin season was doing pretty okay, they didn't gain any sort of attention at all. So when I take a look at something like XCN, it's been proven that, you know what, people do gravitate towards this. And I think a large majority, in terms of what I've noticed when it comes to the people I know, the reason why they do believe in something like XCN is because they kind of view this as the up-and-coming version of Stellar, aka XLM, and Ripple, aka XRP. But I just want to make clear that, of course, XCN is never going to defeat them. But just having that idea, that notion, is sometimes enough to create a lot of hype and attention. And we did see that not too long ago, and even to a certain extent as of right now. So that really does matter. Now, I think naturally, of course, if something like Ripple, aka XRP, and Stellar, aka XLM does well, I think that's going to be very beneficial to XCN because some people out there have seen that they're under this misconception that, oh, XCN, in order for it to do good, they want to see, XRP or XLM go down in order for this to, again, do good. But I disagree with that concept because, in my opinion, if let's say Bitcoin does good in a different scenario, wouldn't that benefit altcoins, Ethereum, right? So it's only logical that, of course, we want the market leaders within this space, like XRP and XLM, to do good in order for it to bring XCN along with the ride. And some people out there, they don't want to go into random dinosaurs in which can't do, let's say, over a 50x or something like that in the next 6 to 10 months. Some people don't want that. Sometimes you want to look for something different, and XCN could hypothetically be something like that because we have to take a look at how a dollar is around a 56x from here. In my opinion, that right there is way better than whatever XRP or XLM could do in the next 6 to 10 months. At least that's the way to take a look at it. Now, of course, I still believe in XRP and XLM because, it's less risky, quote unquote, but that's kind of what I'm in the world of cryptocurrencies for. That's to kind of take some chances here. Now, I can't speak on anyone's behalf, but I want to take a chance on something like XCN. And XCN isn't even this random microcap meme coin in which we don't know whether or not it will do bad or good. That isn't the case, right? XCN has been proven. It's been known to gain a lot of attention. And also, not to mention, many people now view it as a miniature version of XRP and XLM. It's been solidified in the market. People know what this is. It has that brand identity, if that makes sense. Other projects out there, they don't really have an identity in a sense that they don't really know what they're doing. People don't really know what they're trying to be focused on, but this one has a very solid identity, and I do like that. Not to mention, if we assume XRP does very good during a fully fledged bull run XLM, I just don't see why XCN won't achieve some of that. And let's say go to the price of $1, because let's say XRP goes to a market cap of around $800 billion, and let's say XLM goes to a market cap of around $300 billion during a fully fledged bull run. Now that's combined around 1.1 trillion. Now, if that happens, are we saying less than 5% of that can't trickle into this, right? Because again, considering current circulating supply at the price of $1, market cap would be around $33 billion. Again, still less than 5% of the example that I used before in terms of the combined market caps in that scenario. So when it comes to something like XCN, it really is a no-brainer for me. My conviction, again, is very strong as of right now because not only are we seeing the price do this, but we're seeing this without really much going on when it comes to Onyx. Keep in mind, Onyx, yes, they're planning to launch the mainnet of Goliath in Q1 of next year and also the testnet of Goliath in Q3 of this year. And also there's some hype and anticipation as to what the wallet could bring for the future of Onyx moving forward. But that's not much really. And it's already doing that. So imagine once the price starts picking up in a good way and in Q3 of this year, they launch the testnet, not even the mainnet, the testnet of Goliath. Could you imagine what sort of attention, hype, and, sort of this presence that XCN would have at that point. I think it could look so legendary. And again, XCN did that well not too long ago without really much, if anything, really to look forward to. Now we at least have something to look forward to, even though it's not that much. So I think this time around, it could just be a totally different story. Now there's something to grasp onto, even though it's not that much again. There's at least something. So if XCN could do that back then, once the market, let's say, does very well, let's say Bitcoin goes to 150,000, 200,000, 300,000, in my opinion, the sky could very well be the limit. And the crazy thing is this. Bitcoin has never even seen $150,000, at least yet, at the time of this recording. It might reach it in the future. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm just saying, even with the current conditions that we have right now in the market, there is still over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. I mean, let's just let that sink in. That's that many crypto owners with not that much action going on. So what would the amount of crypto owners look like if Ethereum reaches $10,000, if Bitcoin reaches $300,000? Let's say XRP goes to the price of $10, $15. XM, let's say, goes to the price of $10. At that point, could you imagine what the amount of crypto owners would be at that time? Would there only be around 600 million? Or would there be 700 or even over 800 million? Those figures wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. However, only time will tell. And as the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. I think if the market does do very well, I think something like XCN is just naturally going to get brought up along with the ride. But of course, I cannot control the future. There is no exact way to tell when things will happen to a certain, pinpoint in time. But what I can do, instead of focusing on those type of stuff or those variables in which I can't control, I would much rather just focus on things that are within my control. Like accumulating more, holding, and just waiting, that's it. That's very simple, actually. And keep in mind, when I was doing that back then, when XCN was kind of, flatlining, wasn't really doing anything, a lot of people thought, hey man, you're making a big mistake. Then suddenly, boom, XCN had that major pump. Now, I didn't sell any XCN, but the way you take a look at it is that, you know what? At least it showcased that sometimes the market wakes up when we least expect it to do so. And also sometimes these altcoins, they wake up when we least expect it to do so. I wasn't expecting XCN to wake up that soon, but it did. So this time around, what will happen? Only time will tell, because, we will only know hypothetically the bottom or when things pump when time has passed, right? I think a major reason why people know that $1 wasn't the max for Bitcoin in terms of price was because now, take a look at it, it's over $90,000, right? So stuff like that can only truly be confirmed after time has passed. So then, I'm just going to focus on right now, accumulate more, hold, and I just wait, because when it comes to my belief in this project, there's no doubts. I'm fully believing in this. I could be wrong, who knows, but I'm still believing in this. And $1 when it comes to XCN, that's still my price target for this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's only the captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.